Hey there, comic book friends! Here to do some more talking on my weekly vlog, What the Fugue? Where I talk about the stuff that's just happening in my little piece of the comic book world. Some of the stuff I know other people have talked about, I like to give my 2 cents worth too. First thing I talk about is yet another Emerald City Comic Con update. Yes, I know it's not until March, but I keep finding things that have me somewhat excited. I hear Neil Adams is going to be at Emerald City Comic Con. For me, that's really huge. I'm a huge fan of the Green Lantern, Green Arrow books that he did. More for the Green Arrow, of course. I loved those books. I have a few of the some of the original books. I also have the reprint that came out in the, I think it was early 80s, where it kind of put some of the books together. It's got the books where, you know, Speedy doing heroin and some of that stuff and whatnot. And I just really like all those books and whatnot. I've heard rumors that he can be a bit of a egomaniac, in the sense that, you know, back in the day we made real comics, and now you people who make comics now are just not worthy, or something silly like that. I hope that's not the case. I guess I'll find out, because I fully plan on going and meeting the guy and at least saying hey and checking it out and whatnot. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that old school, to get that old school thing there and whatnot. So yeah, that's the latest Emerald City Comic Con exciting news for me. Talk briefly about the new Justice League of America book that has been announced. I am both excited about this, and also think that it's more than likely going to be the same mediocre stuff that we've been getting from, like, the Justice League book. If you want to listen to some good basically negative points about the book, go check out Donnelly's page. He has a drive that he did earlier in the week, or maybe it was last week, talking about the book and the characters in particular, and some of his misgivings about the whole thing and whatnot. And I agree with a lot of that stuff. I mean, I'm reading Justice League right now, and I continuously talk about the fact that it feels like Jeff Johns is phoning in this story. It's just so mediocre. It's dull, and it shouldn't be. It should be a really exciting book, considering who all's in the book and stuff. I really like some of the characters that are in this new Justice League book, though. I wonder if maybe this book is going to be more exciting. Maybe he's more excited to do this book because it has, of course, yet another Green Lantern character that he created, that he might be more excited to write about, because he's, you know, he created the character. I know that he really likes Stargirl, and Stargirl's in it, so maybe there'll be more excitement because it's a character that he's really excited about going back to writing again, possibly. Of course, I always like Manhunter. He should be in one of these big team books, and of course, that's why they moved him out of Stormwatch, if you've been reading the Stormwatch lately. I like Katana. Concerned that Katana won't be in Birds of Prey anymore. I like the character. Of course, this is an opportunity for me to maybe like Green Arrow somewhere in the new DC universe, because he's in it. Hawkman, you could care less one way or the other. Vibe, whatever. I wasn't really excited about that character back in the 80s when he was around, so we'll see if somebody does something worthwhile with him. Catwoman seems completely absurd to me that she would be in any superhero group. Really, it strikes me as absurd that she would be in any real group. A partnership with somebody briefly, but her in a group setting just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But I'm sure I'll check the book out. I'm not excited about the artist. You know, Ethan can't always name the artist, but Ethan always recognizes David Finch's work. I mean, he may not go, oh, it's David Finch, but it's like all the faces look the same. You know, and the women all have the same waists and whatnot, and he just immediately picks up on it. So it's pretty obvious about him, and not real excited about about that part either. Like I said, though, I'll probably pick up the first couple books. They pretty much promised in the first issue it's supposed to be able to explain why the heck it is all these people are teamed up together. I do like the idea of this being, of them sporting all these B-list or lower characters and saying, hey, the challenge is someone has told you you're not good enough to be on the big boy team, but here's a team and let's see what we can make it into. I like the idea of that. And I might like the idea of it even more if there was somebody else doing this. It already feels like that, like I said before, that Jeff Johns is phoning things in. I just don't see how he's going to not be phoning this one in too with as many books as he's on, unless he's going to get off of something. So I don't know. But like I said, I'll give it a look. I've talked briefly a little bit on Twitter about the fact that maybe I will drop Justice League and get this instead. I don't know. I haven't read the latest Justice League yet with the infamous Superman Wonder Woman kiss. So I'm looking forward to reading that and seeing what my opinion is that. I have my own personal gut feeling on it. I've never been a fan of the idea of Superman and Wonder Woman. I mean, it makes some sense because they're peers, and some of them having a relationship with each other would be fine. I've always liked the idea of her having a relationship with Batman more than Superman. Something about that just feels better to me than the Superman. Or maybe that's just because I consider Superman really boring, and so I can't imagine anybody really wanting to date him. Anyway, there's that. Let's see what else. Oh, I picked up 2 more books that I'm going to show right now. Yet another one of my Doom Patrol that I didn't have. This is Doom Patrol number 95. It's in okay shape. It's not fabulous, but yeah, I've got worse books. There with another appearance of our good old Animal, Vegetable, Mineral Man. Yeah, so I'm down to 4 comics, I think, 4 or 5 left that I need of Doom Patrol. And then also from the same person picked up, this is both eBay buys, My Greatest Adventure. This is My Greatest Adventure number 85. And one of the Doom Patrol. This is the My Greatest Adventures that featured Doom Patrol before it actually went to being Doom Patrol. There's one more My Greatest Adventure, number 6 is where it turns into Doom Patrol. So, yeah, pretty cool. I liked when Rita wore the green dress. I like them when they wear all the uniforms too. But it's just, I don't know, there's something appealing about this green dress. Just me maybe. And this one's in pretty good, decent shape too. Nothing fabulous, but pretty nice. So yeah, pretty stoked to be getting even closer. I'll be showing that off. Oh, and the seller that sold me the books also gave me this free comic. This looks like it's issue 199 of Fantastic Four from 1978. This is the second Fantastic Four book I own. I only own one other Fantastic Four book, and it is, I believe, oh shoot, I don't remember what number it is now. I think it's Silver Age. If it's not Silver Age, it's like very early 70s. It's got the Inhumans in it. And when I read that comic as a kid, I picked it up at a yard sale somewhere. And when I read it as a kid, I actually really liked the Inhumans that were in it. I liked Black Bolt and Medusa and them, and I didn't really have an opinion about the Fantastic Four. I know, shame on me. Anyway, so that's some latest of the comic books I got that aren't part of whatever my normal polls that I do reviews on and whatnot. Something that just happened today, it's kind of comic book related, in that this helped inspire me to really get back into collecting comics again after I took my hiatus in the early 90s from collecting comics, and it was a online MMO computer game called City of Heroes. It's been around for basically 9 years. I've been playing it since the beginning. and I loved the game, and I still love it. But today it was announced that it will be closing its doors by the end of the year, and it's a real bummer for me. It's kind of a hangout place for me. Besides YouTube, I mean, I talk comic books there all the time. I've met some excellent people there who are comic readers also, because it makes sense, because it's a game where you play superheroes and supervillains and anything in between anymore. Get to make all kinds of crazy costumes and go on fun adventures and just have a good time. And I'm really bummed that it's gone. Ethan was 5 when I first got the game. We made his first character. I'd play it, and he named the character and came up with the first costume and whatnot. And we talked superheroes, and that's what got him really excited about superheroes, which made me dig out my old comic books, start reading those old comic books to him, and then from reading those old comic books to him, it moved on to the new comic books and where we're at now. So it just kind of bums me out that it's gone, that little piece of being a superhero is going to be gone. So yeah, there is that. There is a certain level of chaos being and strife being sown amongst the community right now, and with trolls, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if trolls the appropriate name or whatever. And I just think it's kind of a bummer. It bums me out to have somebody causing chaos or whatever for what seems to be really no good reason to be doing that. My brief opinion on some of the stuff. I know there's some issues with thumbs down. I mention the thumbs down occasionally. Me and Ethan mention the thumbs down. Just about every one of my videos gets a thumb down somewhere along the way, which is fine. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm always curious about the thumbs down. I don't know if it's a critique of what I'm talking about, the fact that my video quality's crap, you don't like my tie-dyed t-shirt, whatever it is. So I'm always curious to have people, if you're going to give that thumbs down, say, hey, this is why I don't like it, I'm giving you a thumbs down. I want the discussion. For me, the thumbs down is a form of discussion. It's just a silent. And so I don't know how to address that. So as a general rule, I ignore the thumbs down. I mean, I see them there, but whatever. I don't get upset one way or the other about them. It's a way for you to express whatever your opinion. I wish there was a better way. I wish if it was a matter of you're gonna thumbs down it, that you say, yeah, I don't like this for whatever reason. As long as you're not gross. I don't delete any comments people make as long as they're not. There have been some inappropriate comments of people that are just, putting out stuff that doesn't have anything to do with my video or whatever, them just being crude. And so I delete those. But otherwise, if you have an honest opinion of you don't like it, or you hate the fact that I don't like Hal Jordan of, Green Lantern or whatever, in the comments below. I'm here to have the discussion. I love having a discussion, even if it's a disagreement. I can disagree and be happily disagreeing with anybody and not be offended by that and not be bothered and not take it personally. One of my best friends, I talk comics with him all the time. Large chunks of our conversation are arguments that we don't see the same way on a lot of books and a lot of things and whatnot. That's what makes the community, in my opinion, interesting. If you guys all had the same opinion as me, I wouldn't need to watch anybody's videos. I could just listen to myself talk. So having those opinions, that's awesome. Having the discussions is cool too. I love doing that, So I don't have an issue with the thumbs down. But the stuff that seems like it's actually truly making fun of somebody else and not joking about it. I mean, obviously, Sleepy Reader 66 had a great little thing about the community, talking about the fact that everybody obviously should probably, so we can all be happy. Nobody wants to be offended themselves, so we shouldn't do things that offend other people. But I think a lot of times our jokes, people know we're joking when we're giving people a hard time and whatnot. Matter of fact, a good example of that, the disembodied voices in the background making hand gestures at me. That's why I was looking offside. But she just brought to my attention. One of the ones that I thought was good ribbing fun, and then being on the comic talk podcast with him, you could tell it was a joke. You know, we all know 123 Comic Man. You know, he's got his great opening sequence, that catchy song that gets stuck in everybody in my household's heads when I watch any of his videos, and we spend the rest of the day walking around singing bits and pieces of the silly thing. Captain Cummings cranked out a video where he did 456. It was Comic Dude or something like that, and just kind of did a, you know, showing off his books and stuff, but just having fun and whatnot. I think that was in good humor. You know, it was obvious that that's what it was, and it wasn't trying to, you know, insult him or make fun of how he does his stuff. It was just a fun way to show off the books that he had and whatnot, and I think that he took it that way. If he didn't, somebody correct me. That's all fun. We know each other. We can have those kinds of jokes and whatnot. But yeah, I'm rambling too long on this because I keep going back and forth whether I want to talk about it or not. Just that my personal thing, it bothers me that, like I said, that there be some strife thrown in, and that we can't just all enjoy what's out there, and you know, and leave it at that. Any rate, thought I was gonna have something fun to end on, but I can't remember what it would have been now at this point. But anyway, let's read more comics, talk more comics, and everybody just get along. See you down the road.